What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Honesty with your boy John. Happy Pride Month. Let's get right into these topics, you guys. One of the topics that I want to talk about are the murderers of George Floyd. As you can see right here in this picture, they look just like the criminals that they are. All 4 police officers were charged with the murder of George Floyd. As you see, you have Derek Chauvin, which is the one who actually had his foot on George Floyd's neck. And then you have his partner who was sitting there looking like an idiot. And then you had 2 other officers who came up on the scene and watched George Floyd die. Everybody was trying to make an excuse to make sure that these officers weren't charged with the murder of George Floyd. They went as far as to say that he had a heart problem. Then they took it a little step further and said that he had the coronavirus. If you had the coronavirus, why weren't y'all practicing social distancing? Why weren't you guys 6 feet apart? Where were your gloves? Where were your masks? They were nowhere to be found. The family of George Floyd hired a private investigator who did an autopsy as well. And come to find out, George Floyd died of suffocation. I'm really hoping that these murderers get convicted of killing George Floyd, because in actuality, police get away with everything. White people get away with everything. This is the privilege that we keep seeing with white people, especially if they're a police officer. I think they're going to get away with it because we see this shit happen all the time and it's not fair. So if they're not found guilty of this murder, then feel free to riot. Feel free to do everything that y'all was doing earlier, which I don't approve of. But at the end of the day, if this is going to prove our point that y'all can't keep killing us, then by all means, fuck it up. My next topic that I want to talk about is Trina getting backlash from what she said on her radio show calling black people animals. So for you guys who don't know, Trina has a radio show with Trick Daddy. They call it Trick and Trina. Basically, Trick and Trina were talking about George Floyd and how everybody was riding from Chicago to Miami to Atlanta, Minneapolis. Everybody is going crazy. Trina calls black people animals and saying that they need to be locked in the cage where they belong because they've been acting like they're in a zoo and all this stuff like that. So we're going to watch, and then we're going to come back and we're going to discuss it.
Curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. and will be enforced until Gimenez lifts the order. They need to make the curfew at 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's how I feel.
No.
Keep everybody off the streets, these animals off the streets that are running around in Miami-Dade County acting like they have escaped from a zoo. Lock them up at 5 p.m. so the streets can be nice and clean. That's how I feel.
What the streets got to do with the people's lives? You got money.
We're not talking about the lives. We're not talking about
money.
that. We're not talking about the lives.
Listen,
We're not talking about that.
You got money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
These people got to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
These people been on lockdown.
I've been on lockdown too. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You've been on lockdown.
I've been on lockdown just like them. Uh-huh.
Yeah, these people ain't been working.
Okay.
They about to lose
Unfortunately,
their
a lot
mind.
of people don't have jobs. I agree with that. Mm-hmm.
They about to lose their mind.
We all about to lose our mind. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And just because one person.
Mm-hmm. They run. So today their minds are all back clear. Everybody's minds is back today good? Because the weekend it was they back good, okay?
They mind. One day ain't going to get their mind clear. But it'll help.
Oh, okay.
You got to start somewhere.
Okay. That's cool.
You got to start somewhere.
And that means tear up our city? That means tear up our city?
Ain't nobody tear up no city.
That means tear up our, that means run through and tear up our stores and burn down our stuff and break in our stores and go and tear up Bayside Marketplace and tear up my friend's shop that has a son and a kid to take care of her family. You go demolish her shop for something?
It's always personal with you.
It's definitely personal. It's definitely personal because I feel like at the end of the day,
your friend got insurance.
She got insurance, but she also been locked down for 60 days, also like us, and she also don't have money like me. So I don't approve of it. Period.
Okay.
I don't approve of it. Period.
I don't either.
Because you don't want nobody burning down Sundays. Let's be very clear.
But
okay, and you have insurance.
But
you don't
let me
want
tell
that.
you this.
You don't want to be sent back from ribs and collard greens. Let's be very clear. Yeah.
Bring back.
We can't. We can't. We can't bring back anything. We can't bring back nobody's lives that has been taken away, whether it was from the police or in the hands of another civilian. We cannot bring them back. We cannot.
Okay.
We cannot bring them back. You cannot pump life back into them at all. I can't bring back my little brother's life. His life was taken by the hands of a man, a black man. I can't bring his life back. So what are you saying? Let's be back. Because I'm ready today. Today, I'm ready today. I am ready today, Miami. Today.
What Trina said wasn't wrong. Yes, she was wrong for calling us animals, but I think it was more about how she said it and how it came off insensitive. Because as you was listening, you hear her going, yep, I've been locked up too. Yep. Are we good now? It was very disrespectful to the African American community. Yes, I get that George Floyd has died, but don't give white people the assumption that they already assume about us. All types of celebrities were going in on Trina. Even Hosika had something to say. Masika called her a coon. She called her an old dirty bitch. Like, they were going in on each other. Masika gonna sit there and say, oh, Trina, I used to look up to you. I used to listen to your music. I can't believe I did that. Trina turned around and said, well, bitch, if you actually listen to my music, then you would have learned not to be a dumb hoe. That was the reason. Masika even took it a step further to even try to get Khia involved. Everybody was trying to get rid of Trina. They signed a petition for her radio show to get her kicked off. They gave 10,000 signatures when it only required 5,000 signatures. And Trina ended up making a statement. She apologized on all social platforms. I forgive Trina. At the end of the day, what she said wasn't wrong. It was how she said it and how it came off insensitive was wrong. Nevertheless, let's go on to the next topic. The next topic that I want to talk about is Bobby Lytes versus Khia. Bobby finally let Khia have it. He talked about Khia's past. He talked about how all of the dick she done sucked, all of the niggas she done fucked, how her daughter got raped. Like, it was too much tea. We're going to watch, and then we're going to come back and we're going to discuss this.
Today on the docket, we have Khia, aka Miss Florida Gator Swamp Monster. We the people summon you to a reality check and fact sheet. Fortunately, she had experienced a rough upbringing as her mammy was an infamous prostitute. It got so rough for Thug Missus at times, she would experience a lot of her mammy's dates. While she was in the front seat, her mammy would be in the back seat performing sexual acts. And poor Khia was subject to all of it. Khia's mother passes from an unknown disease. No wonder the Swamp Monster has no respect for those that have passed on. At a young age, Miss Khia had multiple niggas running trains on her in the Jackson Heights area, which would then prepare her for her new lifestyle entitled as whore. Now, as she began her struggling music career, all of her whorish manners would soon translate to all of her low quality and ratchet cover arts, as some of you may know, because Khia claims her child is from a man named Billy Finch, when in actuality it's from his brother, Papa Love. To ensure her daughter would follow in her whorish ways, she named her daughter right after her. Now, what's absolutely horrifying about this entire thing is that Papa Love was a well-known rapist and child molester. He was very well known for raping his nieces and young girls. Khia allowed for her daughter to be around this man and allegedly should be in prison for exposing her daughter to this man, for if it wasn't for her crackhead looking ass and all her negligence, her daughter would have never had to endure what she went through. Khia's daughter ends up getting raped at age 12 by Papa Love and becomes pregnant. Bless her soul. Khia's sheep in the face looking ass was too busy tricking and treating and making no money, basically fucking around town, and that's the reason why she wasn't able to fully tend to her children. Thug Missus got her ass dragged so many times, oftentimes she needed club security to escort her to her big ass Scooby-Doo van, leaving certain nightclubs such as St. Louis, Manila, the New Lounge, and Uptown 21. Miss Khia, I think it's about time that you hang it all up and do some soul searching. Perhaps a new makeover and remove them gauntlets in your mouth. And if you can't afford to remove them dusty ass pillow sheets from around them dreads and get them retwisted, there are many alternatives, like you can shave your hair bald or try a wig, even though that can get costly for your broke ass. You, Miss Khia, have been found guilty of being equivalent to a nuisance, a gnat, and a mess we all can't get rid of, but you have managed to live your life this way. No morals or regards to human emotions. Instead of me suing you like I should have for defamation of character by telling lies about my health, I will leave your Shrek in the face ass with these words instead. Furthermore, we the people sentenced your piglet nostril having ass to life in hell with not one cup of water. Any video or message your delusional ass making fun of them termite-infested wood panels will be politely disregarded and ignored. For today, I have laid you to rest using your own life story and facts. I had no need to tell a lie and fabricate anything that I have said today, unlike you, who thrives off of personal opinions and lies. And by the way, I'm giving your dusty, musty, sweaty, pussy, tart-having ass 24 hours to fully copyright the gag order. If not, I will kindly take your shit and show your slim thug, Wesley Snipes looking ass how to really capitalize and make some real money. Now let's talk about the order.
Khia will always talk badly about Trina for no reason. Then you want to sit there and talk about him as well? You had this coming, Khia. I don't understand why y'all fuck with Khia because she's a roach. I don't like roaches. I never dealt with roaches. Khia is a piece of shit. She's ignorant as fuck. She's homophobic. She would sit there and say Bobby got a loose booty hole. He sucked dick from the back and he not supposed to be doing that because he a man. That shit gay as hell. Like, she would go off on Bobby for no reason. It's funny how Khia could sit there and call Trina a hoe all day, but as we was watching the video, Bobby sat there and read your history, did a whole background check, and none of that shit was lies. It was all facts. The difference between Trina and you is that, yeah, Trina was probably out here fucking, but she was getting paid. You out here fucking for free. That's dumb. Nevertheless, Bobby, I'm glad you got that roast together. At the end of the day, you know, get some more red and keep going on. So Claudia has a show called Out Loud on Fox, and she invited T.S. Madison and Kandi to come on the show to discuss everything that they had going on and see if they could put their beef to rest. Some of you who may not know, T.S. Madison and Khia used to talk shit about Kandi all the time. They would dog Kandi out on their show. Khia would make fun of Kandi vocals and would sit there and she would drag Kandi. She would drag all of her friends. She would drag Escape. What I didn't know was that T.S. Madison and Kandi's beef started a long time ago when she was on Kandi Coded Nights. T.S. Madison felt some type of way because they were doing a section on the LGBTQ community and they were specifically talking about trans men and trans women. T.S. Madison thought that Kandi was showing favoritism because all of the other T-girls were passable, and compared to T.S. Madison, she thought that Kandi thought that she still looked like a man. So they ended up talking it out, and then they got further into the beef where they were talking about the whole Escape situation. Tamar Braxton invited Khia and T.S. Madison to come up on stage to perform. So Kandi found out, which is like, oh hell no, y'all got me fucked up. Like, y'all not finna come on my stage, y'all not finna drag me and then go on y'all show and say we was on that bitch stage and all this stuff like that. So we're gonna watch and then we're gonna come back to discuss.
I was from the adult entertainment scene. And see, at the time, Kandi, you know, why I had like heavy respect for you because, you know, you like the dark arts, girl. You like you know, you all freak on the inside. So, you know.
For sure. Well, okay, so here's the thing. This is where the misunderstanding comes. Okay, so I thought that she didn't really care about people knowing her TV because of, if you know anything about her prior business or whatever, that was her brand, her brand name, basically, her prior brand name. Yeah. So with that being said, I didn't think that it was something that was a sensitive topic for her. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you know, it wasn't really sensitive. It was just like, I felt slighted. I felt like shaded a little bit, you know, and I held that. And maybe I should have just reached out instead of.
Yeah, we should have just talked about it. Basically, she thought I was showing favoritism to the other,
because they was
other trans people that were on the panel.
Yeah, because I felt like you felt that they was more realer than me. Like they was more passable than me. Because girl, you gave, I could see. I was like, girl.
You know what? One thing I did learn from reality television is a little small thing, and not to minimize what you felt, T.S. Madison, because it's not. Things get blown out of proportion, especially the more time that goes by, and then people are in your ear, people in her ear. And before you know it, it's this big thing that could have been squashed in one lunch.
Yeah, but then
we don't do that anymore. We don't, like on reality TV, we had to sit down with someone, a bitch you couldn't stand, right? And talk some things out. And that's one thing I learned, I got out of that show is a lot of times things get so blown out of proportion. You know what I mean? And
well, look at you.
But then as time passed, you know, Tamar and I became good Judies. And I think that you had a misconception, or the group had a misconception that, you know, she was bringing us there to read you guys or whatever. And I get it. Even when I had a rebuttal for when we were quote unquote, because did y'all throw us out, Kandi? I want to know this. Did y'all throw us out? Who threw us out, girl?
Who throwed you out? Okay. Technically we was responsible, but I mean, I guess it was more ultimately, you know, people on our team that made the decision to throw you out.
That was out of one of your shows, right? It was at one of your shows. This for the audience that doesn't know.
So here's what happened.
Hear the air.
First of all, I didn't even know. I didn't even know T.S. Madison
that I was in there.
say she was there. The only person whose name was named was her old co-host.
Yeah, my neck, my back.
Her old co-host, basically. Her old co-host, they said, oh, she done came up in here. Now, mind you, at the time, she had been dogging the shit out of us, me definitely, and some of our close friends. And so I was like, when they said she was going on the stage, I was like, oh, no, that bitch ain't going on nobody's stage. Not on New Year's Eve. We're not bringing this on the stage. We done got all these people out here in Atlanta on New Year's Eve. I'm not taking this into my new year. And I was not the only one in my group. And I know everybody swear I make the decisions for the group, but it actually is not just my decision alone. Some of my group members, they was definitely felt very strong about it. And significant others felt strong about it.
So here's the thing.
Y'all had to go.
My problem was because Vince came back there and he told us that we couldn't perform. He said we could have went out there and watched you guys do the show, but we couldn't go on stage. So y'all blocked y'all told us we couldn't go on stage, but y'all ain't throw us out. They ain't throw us out. We still were gonna go with it. I was like, nah, I ain't finna be. I ain't. But I get it. I understand. You know how
I didn't tell them to throw you out. I just told them that y'all wouldn't. Well, not y'all, because I didn't even know you was your friend. I just said your friend wasn't getting on that damn stage because she wasn't finna get on no stage and then come back to y'all show talking about, fuck them hoes, I done performed on their stage or diss us on our own thing. Like, that wasn't happening.
I totally agree with Kandi on this part. You're not gonna sit here and talk badly about me and then think you're gonna sit there and perform on my stage, on my platform. To be honest, I'm so glad that they didn't perform that night because the next day, they literally went on that show and they dogged the hell out of Kandi. They talked shit about Escape. They talked shit about that whole entire concert. I'm just glad they squashed their beef because at the end of the day, T.S. Madison was like, hey, Kandi, ain't no animosity over here. I still love you. I think you a boss. Like, you make money. I like to make money. You inspire me. And they squashed the beef, so that was really, really good to see. Kandi didn't know that T.S. Madison was there. She was saying, like, I thought we were cool. Your friend is the only one that I didn't want on the stage. Khia, I didn't want that bitch on my stage. The next topic that I want to talk about is Iyanna Dior. Iyanna Dior is in the Minneapolis area. She is a trans woman. A trans black woman. Iyanna Dior got into a fender bender and 30 men and women beat her severely because of it. It was so sad to see on multiple levels. One, this is literally during the George Floyd riots. Two, this is during the month of Pride. And then three, it was a trans woman, a trans black woman. I get that we're going through it and I get that we're rioting and everything like that, but it's still no excuse to put your hands on a woman. It is so irritating for a black man or a black woman to sit there and say Black Lives Matter just for them to exclude somebody who's a black gay man or a black gay woman. I was sitting there beating on this transgender girl, but she's still a black woman. Regardless if she was gay, regardless if she was straight, if she was a part of the LGBT, the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like, it doesn't matter. And then y'all want to sit there and say Black Lives Matter. Do gay Black Lives matter to you guys? Doesn't seem like it. We sit here all the time talking about we gotta come together. We have to stand as one. We have to stand as one race. But we don't do that when you exclude people who have a different sexual orientation than you do. Black lives, they do matter. But gay Black lives matter more. And y'all don't get that. We experience discrimination, racial profiling. On top of that, you have a gay man. Not only are you getting called a nigga, but you're getting called a faggot. Like, all of these hateful words. Yet y'all don't want to extend the Black Lives Matter to us. It's very, very hurtful. It's hurtful because you're going to sit here and let the police beat on me because I'm gay, but then turn around and you get beat up the same, but my life don't matter because I'm gay. Black lives do matter, but gay Black lives matter just as much as a heterosexual life. Now we're getting ready to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars. All rules have been suspended. How the rules usually work, there are 2 tops and 2 bottoms. This season is 1 top and 2 bottoms. They also have a lip sync assassin. Basically, the winner of the challenge has to go against the lip sync assassin. So if the winner of that challenge wins against the lip sync assassin, then the winner gets to choose who they voted to go home. If the lip sync assassin wins, then they choose whoever they voted to go home. I also got to see my bitch Evie Oddly, and she was the first lip sync assassin and she killed it. So Evie Oddly went up against India Farah, and of course Evie Oddly killed that lip sync, therefore India Farah couldn't choose who she wanted to go home. But nevertheless, Drag Race was really, really good. I can't wait till this Friday because I will be tuning in. The last topic that I want to talk about is 13 Reasons Why. So a recap of season 3, it was about who killed Bryce Walker. Bryce Walker was the one who raped many girls at his high school, and the reason why Hannah Baker committed suicide. In the end of season 3, they framed Monty, who was also Bryce Walker's best friend, and in the end, he ended up getting killed in jail. So in season 4, we found out that Monty was framed and everybody else in the school was finding out as well, and now everybody on the football team is trying to figure out who framed Monty. It was very irritating because at the end of the day, it's just like, why are y'all trying to find justice for these rapists? Bryce raped many of girls at that school, and everybody on the football team knew about it. They even sat there and they watched. Monty raped Tyler with a broom. So safe to say he deserved to be in jail. Also irritating because throughout the entire season they showcased white privilege. So in today's society, we deal with a lot of teenagers who deal with bullying, depression, anxiety, and sometimes they're not best at taking their anger out in the right way. Most of the time, we see them shooting up school. So back in the day when we were in school, we had fire drills and tornado drills, stuff like that to practice for just in case whatever happens. Now, we're doing drills just in case there's ever a school shooting. And I think that's something that we really need to have because you never know what the next teenager is going through. Clay heard some gunshots and he wanted to go confront the student and, try to talk them down. And come to find out, it was a drill that was set up by the principal. Clay was just like, what the hell? Like, what do you think you were doing? We over here fearing for our lives. The principal was just trying to, enlighten Clay and say, hey, like, we really need these drills. I didn't want to tell y'all that there was going to be a drill because if it actually happens, I can't say you guys this is a drill. Clay started getting really, really loud. He started getting angry. And the police officers was just like, hey, man, calm down. And next thing you know, he had to manhandle Clay. Clay got away and grabbed his gun. All of the police officers were aiming their gun at Clay. Had it would have been a black man, he would have been got killed. Second time that it happened was when Clay ran into the police station. He was just like, I got a gun. Everybody started moving around. All the police officers in that police station was pointing their gun at him. Again. If it would have been somebody black, he wouldn't have got the second chance when he was at the school. I also want to talk about Justin. Last season, we found out that Justin was addicted to heroin. In this season, he ended up relapsing. And we thought he died because of an overdose, but come to find out, Justin died of AIDS. In previous seasons, we found out that Justin once upon a time was homeless. He would let guys fuck him just so he can get a bite to eat, or if he can get some drugs, whatever he can get his hands on. The amount of unprotected sex led him to catch HIV. He didn't get treatment, he didn't go to the doctor, so it ended up turning into AIDS. I think that's something very important to talk about because a lot of people in today's society think that HIV and AIDS can be contracted by heterosexual people. Justin Foley was heterosexual. Most people don't know if they have HIV or not. HIV doesn't show up right away. It may take a year. It may take 2 years. It shows up when it wants to. That's why I urge people to wear protection. Wear a condom. If you're not going to wear a condom, then there are other supplements that you could take that can help you from contracting that disease. It was just so sad to see because in the end, Justin was slowly fading away. Season 4 was all about anxiety and depression and everything that these teenagers face nowadays. I blame it on social media. You never know what these kids are going through, what they see online. You got cyberbullying. You get bullied mentally, physically. And most times, kids don't speak up. They don't always say what's on their mind. And we're not mind readers either. But if you're not monitoring what your kid is watching, what your kid is doing on social media, what people are saying about them, then it's going to be a repeated cycle of anxiety. It's going to be a repeated cycle of depression, a repeated cycle of school shootings and bullying. It's going to be nonstop. Nevertheless, it was an okay season. I prefer season 1 over all of the other seasons because everything else really didn't make sense to me. And part of me is glad that that was the series finale. Like, share, comment, and subscribe below, you guys. I want to give a special shout out to my cousin Brittany who made my banner for me. You guys go check her out. Her information is provided below. I want to give a special shout out to my best friend who keeps motivating me to do this show. I want to give a special shout out to all of my faithful viewers and my subscribers. I also want to give a special shout out to my husband as well. Like, share, comment, and subscribe below, you guys. I will be back next week for another show.